Hey, Eric. I wish I had a more profound question other than this is why you got Jimmy Butler, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he wants these kind of moments, and so much of playoff basketball at the end, you have to do a lot of things well during the course of the game, but you want the ball to be in your most stable, experienced guys, and those actions for us tonight were with Jimmy and Goran, and they both produced.
And the way you guys dialed in defensively in the last 36 minutes, how encouraging a sign is that going forward?
It was certainly better than the first quarter. They were lighting us up, and they're just extremely dangerous. With the shooting and Giannis's ability to break down your defense and collapse your defense, so you constantly have to stay focused and do your work early.
Eric, the job of Giannis on the boards, they're a little bit bigger team, the way he really focused and sort of crashed there. How impactful were his 17 rebounds? And is this just another example of him showing the variety of ways he can contribute?
Yeah, there's different aspects and ways you can impact winning. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, everybody just looks for that final number on the box score. I've been on this pulpit for a while. Bam just does a lot of winning things, and we needed every bit of every single one of those 17 rebounds tonight.
And then just another question. Before the game, the league announced the most improved player. It went to Brandon Ingram. I assume you have strong thoughts on Bam in that direction, no matter how the vote went?
Yeah, and that's not taking anything away from Brandon. I mean, he had a fantastic year. We saw that when we played them in New Orleans. But Bam was not starting, the year before. I don't even know what his numbers were, but it didn't really matter. I mean, he became one of the best players in the league, this season. It's unfortunate. I don't think he really cares. He wants to win at a high level. That's his biggest priority, and one of the reasons why we love him. But it would have been nice, that definitely would have been cool for him to be recognized for that.
Hey, Spo, I know that the Bucks scored some transition points early on, but how important was it, especially in those final three quarters, the way you guys limited their fast break opportunities and in the effort to stop Giannis and the Bucks?
It's a big key, but they're not going to stop. It's not like they're going to slow down the pace and try to play half-court basketball the entire 48 minutes. So you got to stay with it. And part of that is your offensive execution, not turning the ball over, making sure you're getting the ball where it needs to go.
Hey, Spo, you touched on Jimmy, what he did in that fourth, but you've had plenty of guys that can take over a game like that. What is it like when you're watching? I mean, not as a coach and his teammates, knowing that, hey, he is taking control of this game in the biggest of moments.
But it's a stars league, and that's why we sought him out, so aggressively. But he just fits everything about us, our fabric, and who we are. And that's make or miss. But everybody feels comfortable when he's making those decisions, and he happened to score tonight, but. He's a very unselfish player. It's not just about him, scoring the basketball. He makes the appropriate reads depending on the game, what's needed for that particular game. They stepped up their defense, though, and you have to give them credit for that. And we basically had to put the ball in his hands just for us to be able to get the kind of, clean looks at that point in the game.
So to follow up on Jimmy, long before you guys even got in the bubble, you were confident that this environment suited him. Why did you think that this moment, and especially within the bubble, could bring the best out of his game?
I mean, he's a great player, so it's regardless of whether you're in the bubble or not. But certainly these are extreme circumstances. They're not easy for anybody, and you need a level of discipline, of structure, and camaraderie. You know, Jimmy's, despite probably what the narrative is out there, he's a very likable guy in the locker room, and I think that helps in a setting like this.
Tim Bontemps.
Eric, you guys obviously did a really nice job throughout the game of loading up on Giannis and kind of limiting him from getting a lot of shots in the paint or really kind of getting comfortable. I know it's a team effort, but how were you guys able to do that, and what will it take to kind of to sustain
I
that
don't
over the
know,
next?
Tim, but I'm not a rocket scientist to imagine, you know, how aggressive he'll be in game 2. So whatever we did, we'll get to the film, but we're going to have to do it even better. You know, he is a great player, and even when you're in the gaps, he has a way of bringing that second defender, a third defender, you know, in a unique way that you don't face night to night.
Eric, after giving up 40 points in the first quarter, your defense pretty much did a pretty good job the last 3 quarters. What was the difference?
You know, I think had a little bit better attention to detail, and then, you know, they also missed some. You know, they had some open looks and they missed some of those. That's part of the game, but our disposition certainly was better, and you hope, you know, that contributes to the karma of how you're playing, because we didn't have much force or detail in that first part of the game.
Hello, Coach. This win, and especially the way that you won tonight, it was kind of a statement from your team. And also, you expect a much more difficult game at game 2.
You can't get too emotional. I don't know what kind of statement that is. This is so early in the series. You have 2 really good teams. We won game 1. That's it. That's how we're viewing it. And then we have to gather ourselves, prepare tomorrow, and get ready for a really competitive game 2.
Hey, Eric, was there a concerted effort to attack the paint, knowing that they do have that drop coverage defensively, and to make sure that you could attack and get Brook Lopez out of there a little?
Not necessarily anything different than what we do. You are who you are at this point. Certainly you have to adjust a little bit based on the opponent, but we're not cramming for a test or reinventing the wheel, you know, in the last 3 days. You know, we are who we are. That's how we play.